Okay, 5390190 is the number. Good morning, you're on the air.
Hi.
Hi.
I have a 70 Maverick, and after it's been running for a while, then you stop someplace and then you start it up again. When you push on the gas, it'll jerk.
Okay.
And you can't get it going.
Okay. Does it happen every time when you start it up?
Not when I start it up in the morning, but after it's been going for a while.
Okay. 70 Maverick?
Uh-huh.
Okay. It sounds like your accelerator pump inside your carburetor is bad. You get that hesitation, and then it picks up?
No, it just it jerks when you push on the gas. And then it'll get going, after you've had it on for a little while, but it'll jerk once you try to get it going right after you start it up.
When it's cold or warm?
When it's warm.
Okay. When it's cold, your choke is set in such an angle that it keeps it running at a faster idle, and you're not on that accelerator pump circuit. You're running through another circuit in the carburetor. We're having stuff falling down all over us.
That time of year.
Yeah, really, rain. The accelerator pump in the carburetor takes over once you get past the choke circuit, and once it warms up. And then when you step on the gas and it kind of lurches or jumps, then you're looking at a problem inside the carburetor or a big vacuum leak, one or the other.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Is that what they should look for then, is a vacuum leak?
Vacuum leak would be the first thing I'd look at, and then the accelerator pump in the carburetor. On a 70 Maverick, there's a good chance it's been forever since the carburetor's been worked on.
That's good.
And in fact, I would even consider replacing it rather than rebuilding it, because you'll probably find rebuilding it will be just a waste of money.
It wouldn't work that well anyway.
You know, it's like interesting with a carburetor. It's just like a garden hose. It's a 1/2 inch inside diameter. And then if you run sand through with the water, it enlarges the center of the passageway in the hose. Same thing in a carburetor. You run gas through it, but the acids in the gas will enlarge the passageways in the carburetor and throw off the air-fuel mixture.
All the time.
And so after you've got 75, 100,000 miles on a carburetor, junk it, because it's not, no matter what you do to it, it's not going to do anything with those passageways.
Okay, remember that. Good morning, you're on the air.
Good morning. I have a problem with a battery terminal you just showed, the type that you screw on the clamps. In the last 6 months, on an old 1968 Oldsmobile with a V8 engine, I've melted the negative on those things twice.
Okay. Does it have a little tiny lead that comes off with the big lead?
Sure does, and it's grounded out to the frame.
Okay.
Or the forward part of the compartment it sits in.
Yeah. Does it melt that too?
No. It melts the under part of the clamp. You clamp it down, everything's tight, and for some reason it melts where those two screws go down to tighten your cable to the post.
Okay.
It melts the under part of that.
Okay. It sounds like you've got a bad ground somewhere. I would check the other end of the negative cable to see where it's attached to the engine and make sure that it's... I would take the cable off and buff both sides of the cable, and then make sure that the bolt itself doesn't have any corrosion on it. Sometimes if that screw just gets a little loose down there, it doesn't make a really good contact. And see, what's happening is that the charging system is searching for a ground. And when you have a lot of resistance in there, it'll do anything.
Well, it certainly found one, because it just melts that thing.
Yeah, it'll melt that, and it'll melt the little wire quite frequently over to where it attaches to the fender. And the only reason that little wire goes to the fender is to ground the circuits that are not grounded to the engine, such as the headlights and turn signals and stuff.
Okay, I'll try that. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Good luck. Okay, good morning. Here you are, you're on the air.
Yes, I have a question on my 78 VW Rabbit.
Okay.
What it is I just had the timing belt replaced, and when I'm slowing down, like to a stoplight, I'm downshifting without my foot on the gas, the car will cut out and jerk as it goes to a stop, and it does it when it's idling too.
Okay. Did it do this before the timing belt was replaced?
No, I didn't.
Okay. With a timing belt on those, it's very critical on all cars. It's just like the timing chain. If they get it one tooth off, it will make a major difference in the way the car runs. With one tooth on a regular car, say with a timing chain, and quite frequently I have to look, but I'm pretty sure it's about the same figure on a timing belt. One tooth off is approximately 15 degrees difference on the timing. And it's almost the same as if you, to give you something that be comparable to it, it'd be like on that little 4-cylinder engine, if you were to take one plug wire off and run with 3 cylinders, it'd be about the same performance. You have a tremendous lack of performance, as well as it cuts out, it dies, it doesn't want to idle right, and so forth. Sometimes to compensate for that, they'll advance the timing or they'll mess around with the carburetor and stuff, but that is not curing the problem. It's still going to cause problems, and you're not going to get good gas mileage either.
Okay, now would it still do it? Now, one thing I forgot to mention, it doesn't do it as much when the engine is cold.
Well, that's because it's idling faster with the choke, and everything is, you know, very seldom do you see much problem show up on an engine or a carburetor or anything when the engine's cold, because it's idling so fast, the fuel mixture is different. But when it warms up is when you'll see most of your problems, whether it's with a battery or with a starter or a timing belt or whatever. It's going to show up when it's hot more than cold. Very few people ever really notice much difference in the wintertime with their cars because it's so cold that everything is pretty loose in the engine, and you drive to work before the car has a chance to warm up. But then in the summertime, when it warms up, when you go around the block, it'll start to show all kinds of tight problems here and there and whatever. Resistance shows up everywhere. I would take it to a shop or take it back where you had the timing belt replaced, and I would have them double check, and I'm sure they'll probably find that the thing is off by about a tooth.
A tooth.
A tooth is all it takes, one tooth, because your valves are opening up at the wrong time. They're probably opening up too soon or too late, and you know, it's not firing right.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Good luck. Go to a dentist. I don't know. A tooth.
A tooth, yeah. Oh, yeah, okay.
Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah,
Hi.
I have a 70 Mercury that when you drive around town, it'll get hot, and when you turn it off, it will not start for like about 5 minutes. It'll cool off, then start, and I've replaced the starter and the solenoid beside the battery.
Okay, when it warms up, does it seem like it just doesn't want to crank right?
No, when it warms up and you try to start it, it's nothing, complete dead. You can't even hear the solenoid. And then when it sets and cools off, 5 minutes or so, it'll crank right up.
Okay. Did you put a good starter on it?
Just a rebuilt one, sir.
Just now, it was a Mercury, you say?
70 Mercury.
Yes.
Just out of curiosity, how much did you pay for the starter?
I think it was $33.
Did that include the solenoid?
Yes, sir, it did.
Okay, that's a cheap starter. You should probably wind up paying about $50 for a good starter. Not that I have anything against the starters or where you got it from or anything, but it's just the, you know, common sense. It just tells you that if you pay $33 for a starter and the solenoid together, most of the time a starter alone runs about $45 to $50 plus the solenoid, and a good solenoid is about 15 bucks. So you're looking about 60 bucks as opposed to 33, and you just about got what you paid for. I would definitely have somebody do a load test on that starter and see how many amps it's drawing. If it's drawing over 250 amps, you're going to have to put another starter on. I would also check the battery to see if you have a dead cell.
A single cell.
One cell that might be just a little weak or dead. Or the battery itself, maybe two cells are a little weak, but it'll be the same as having one dead cell. And quite frequently when the engine's warmed up, things are tighter, and it takes a lot more amperage and stuff or whatever in the starter to get it to turn over, a lot more power. And if you have a weak spot in the system, such as a bad, say your commutator or your brushes on your starter that they didn't replace, because you know they don't do this unless it absolutely has to be done. That's why they can sell a starter so cheap. Or a bearing in the starter. If they didn't replace that, it'll cause a drag on it as it warms up. And so all these things, and then when you go to do it, you get nothing. Then all of a sudden, after it cools down just a little bit, the resistance flows away, and the thing will turn over much easier. It'll engage.
Just what it does, sir.
Yep. I'd either replace the starter, or I'd have somebody check it to make sure the amperage is not above 250 or 275. And if it's down, then I would suggest that you make sure your battery cables are good at your starter and at the battery, and then I'd check the battery for a load to see if it's going to be able to carry the same load as the starter does.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good luck.
Bye.
Well, Robert, we come to the, I guess it's time to get sunglasses for your horse and right into the sunset, huh?
You bet.
Bob is leaving us. This is will be his last appearance on Weekday, and I hate to see you go. It's been over 3 years you've been with us.
Yep.
One of our regulars, but Bob's heading off to greener pastures, actually a bluer ocean is what it's going to be.
Yeah. What I see of the ocean probably won't be much.
You're going to California, though.
Yeah.
And even though he's a tremendous mechanic, he's going into another line of work. It's been doing real well for you.
Yep.
We wish you all the best.
Yeah, I've got some people out there that already want to line me up to do some radio and TV programs out there, but I'm not so sure that I want to do them because I've done now about 225 shows.
Yeah.
And I'm tired.
Yeah, well, I've done 1,200. Yeah, it takes it out of you, but we're going to miss you.
Well, I sure appreciate being
We
here.
loved having you on. You're a great man. Bob DeMotte, our auto medic, and as always, he always knows all the stuff about it. And if you have any questions, we'll send postcards, big bag of them, to San Francisco, and come back and read them someday on the air.
Send money.
Send money instead. Okay. We're going to take a break. We'll be back to tell you about tomorrow's show after this.
What does variety mean by Cricks? If you know the answer, give us a call at 539-0190.
The fun, all the shows A to Z and the facts. What's behind what you see? TV Guide, the whole world of TV. That's entertainment. The stars, underneath all the glow and the news. From the people who know TV Guide, it's a fabulous show. So buy TV Guide and read TV Guide. That's entertainment.
Having a bummer of a summer? Call On TV now and let us soothe your blues with our greatest month of movies ever. In August, Tom Cruise takes a chance in risky business. Tom Selleck travels the high road to China. Richard Gere keeps running in Breathless. And Michael Keaton becomes Mr. Mom. Plus Porky's 2, Linda Ronstadt with Nelson Riddle, Kenny Loggins in concert, and live boxing. So call On TV now and breathe a little easier this summer.
Where's Mom to keep the extra diapers?
Coming up tomorrow, Irving Dardick will be here with Quantum Fitness. You can get fit all over your body, from your hair to your toes. Nino's on the back burner, and John Sebastian's in town, as we've already mentioned. He'll be on our show live. Take care of yourself. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.